Is Donald Trump headed for a windfall just when it appears as if his prized properties might be seized? By now, you know that Trump faces a Monday deadline to post a $464 million bond as he appeals the New York civil fraud verdict. His lawyers have said raising the cash is a, quote, practical impossibility where no bonding company will accept real estate as collateral, which is the source of most of his wealth. They're awaiting the decision of an appeals court, which Trump has asked to waive the bond requirement. Meanwhile, the New York Attorney General Letitia James has entered a judgment against Trump in Westchester County, New York, a possible precursor to seizing a Trump golf course located there. Judgment has already been entered in New York City, home to his penthouse at Trump Tower and office building at 40 Wall Street. James has her eye on the latter.
We are prepared to make sure that the judgment is paid to New Yorkers. And yes, I look at 40 Wall Street each and every day.
According to the Washington Post, Trump has ruled out one path of lesser resistance, personal bankruptcy. The thinking is that it could damage his brand, notwithstanding that 6 times he's gone that route for his businesses. As the Post has noted, on the campaign trail, Trump in years past explained away those corporate bankruptcies, saying he used a tool many savvy investors have employed and noting that he never had to file personally. Politically speaking, Trump might actually welcome the optics of the New York Attorney General seizing his real estate, given that he's already sold a persecution narrative, at least to Republicans, who are giving him their nomination. And now might they also provide him financial relief in an unconventional way? Trump stands to receive a $3 billion windfall by driving up the value of his Truth Social media platform. That's because the shell company taking Truth Social public, Digital World Acquisition, has become Wall Street's latest meme stock. Remember what happened to AMC and GameStop during the pandemic. Due to social media buzz, small investors bought up the struggling stocks, sending their value skyrocketing. That's exactly what is happening with Truth Social. Since Trump launched Truth Social in 2022, after being kicked off Twitter and Facebook, the alternative social media platform has lost millions of dollars and led to insider trading convictions. The company's leaders, past and present, have been trading accusations of deception and impropriety across 4 lawsuits in 3 states. But despite all that, in the lead up to Friday's vote, the speculators market wildly drove up the value of Digital World Acquisition. This week, the stock rose 18% to nearly $43. Then Friday, after the deal was approved, dropped nearly 14%. After hours trading, bumped it back up to 38 and change. Where the merger agreement calls for Trump to own roughly 79 million shares, his interest, at least as of now, a cool $3 billion. I want to know what you think. Go to Smerconish.com. Vote on this week's poll question. Which is more fueling the Truth Social IPO frenzy, love of money or love of Trump? Joining me now is Erik Hirsch, co-CEO of Hamilton Lane. With over $900 billion of assets under management and supervision, Hamilton Lane is one of the leading private markets investment firms in the world. Erik, what is Digital World Acquisition Corp, and what is it doing with Trump Media?
Good morning, Michael. It is referred to as a SPAC, a word that most people have probably not heard but are hearing a lot. And a SPAC is a special purpose acquisition corporation. It is designed to do exactly what it's doing. Its purpose is to acquire something. And the thing that it is about to acquire is Trump Media.
I looked at the filing, at least the cover page for the SEC. Catherine, could we put it up on the screen? I don't know if, Erik, you're able to see this, but the SEC filing shows an address. And then we actually looked at the location that's referenced, 3109 Grand Avenue, Miami. In what I'm showing the audience, it says 3111 Grand Avenue, but you can see there's a UPS store. In other words, I would expect, but I'm naive to these matters, you correct me, I would expect that I would see like a gleaming office tower behind this effort. What do you make of it?
So the business is actually Trump Media. The shell entity is the SPAC. And so not surprising that there isn't a big gleaming office tower for the SPAC. It's looking to acquire something. And again, that real business that it's acquiring is Trump Media.
Who is fueling this?
Well, I think, Michael, you've got sort of 2 sides of this. There are people, and you can look on all sort of the chat boards, because as you noted, this has become a meme stock. So something that is getting a huge amount of investor frenzy. And so there you sort of see on the chat boards people who are true believers that Trump media and its various components today, primarily Truth Social, is going to become a dominant media platform. And so they believe they're getting in early, and this is going to continue to run. The other side seems to just be joining the frenzy and trying to make a quick buck.
I thought that Truth Social, and I'm registered on it, I don't use it. I thought it was kind of a bust. I mean, what does this say about the value, the real value of Trump's media property?
Well, let's put it in comparison. So Reddit, a very popular online communication tool, also went public last week. Reddit has a market cap about $7 billion. That's on revenue of about $800 million. Trump media today is boasting revenue of about $3 million, and yet this merger would actually show a value slightly north of $6 billion.
So what's the answer to my poll question today, in your opinion? Is this about people who have a love of Trump and are essentially writing him a check through an indirect means? Or do they have a love of money and they're just looking to cash in on all this?
I think I'd like to see choice C, which is both. I think you have some people that are simply believers, that they want this property to become what they are touting it to be, which is a global dominant media platform. And there are others who just enjoy the frenzy and who are trading around it, making a quick profit.
What does it mean, Erik, for his personal net worth? Can he access this cash or as cash, and if so, when?
Well, Michael, there's an interesting wrinkle here. You talked about the $3 billion. And that's accurate. That's what happens upon the merger, if that's what his portion would be worth. But if you actually read the documents, there's another twist here, which is if the stock trades above $17.50 for 20 consecutive trading days, Trump gets another 40 million shares. So based on Friday's close, the stake is actually worth about $4.7 billion. Now, those shares are locked up for at least 6 months. But as you noted, Trump will control 2/3 of the company and therefore will control the board. It is possible that he could pass a regulation change that allows his lockup to be shorter. Now, selling that much stock into the market is going to be very difficult to not have negative consequences on the stock price.
So you saw the clip that we showed of Letitia James eyeing 40 Wall Street, the New York Attorney General. If I'm her, maybe I'm delighted by this. Because maybe I get to seize whatever gain he might appreciate from a Truth Social IPO. Your thoughts?
Well, Michael, when we look at someone's net worth, we count all of their assets. We count their real estate. We count their portfolio. We count their interest in public or private businesses. And so this is going to be an asset for President Trump.
Okay, final thought. It didn't end well for GameStop, right? I mean, is this, do you think, headed in the same direction?
Well, you showed the charts. I mean, if you take a look at AMC, which you put up there, peaked at about $200 a share, and today trades around $4 a share. Ultimately, the market starts to look for reality. And reality is, what are earnings and what are profits and what's happening with growth in businesses? And so at some point, the market tends to be always right, and it's hard to beat the market, and the market's going to want to see reality.
Erik Hirsch, thank you. Appreciate your expertise. What are your thoughts? Hit me up on social media. I'll read some responses throughout the course of the program. From the world of X. Are you sure it's not from the world of Truth Social, Catherine? Easy answer. Love of Trump. Every time Trump is attacked, people love him more. People that didn't like him before now love him because of this, and they're going to vote for him as well. I have to say, in response to this, and this individual calls it the Biden boomerang effect, you heard me make reference, and I've spoken of it in much more detail on radio, that I think the best thing politically for Donald Trump, crazy as it sounds, would be Letitia James seizing his real estate. Because I think not only would that infuriate the MAGA base, but I also believe that there would be some who don't like him who would say, wait a minute, it's gone a bit too far. Of course, I could be wrong. I've been wrong plenty of times in the past.